Up and running. Interview squad in the building.
Optimus Prime.
All right. Well, go on with Lord Wells.
There another Wednesday. Here's it. Ready for that one now.
Yo, I'm not telling you, the week I run fast.
Yeah,
fast.
It's going
Seems like, say, by the time a quint a weekend. You know? Yes, so remember, persons who are at home, just try utilize the time. Well, let's say no. Get something new, like Willie, we learned through the COVID pandemic.
Yo, I'm a chef, you.
Turn a chef.
Yo, I'm a chef, like a proper chef. And I pick up some graphic designing. You see me, man? As a matter of fact, I'm also a producer. See, we're doing this online streaming thing. I'm a director, I'm a producer, I'm a film editor. I learn a lot of things, man. COVID has, I don't want to seem insensitive, but one of the best things to happen in terms of, creativity and all of them stuff. They give the time to do that.
And nothing wrong with that, because a person that understands it's all about the mindset. If you believe there's something wrong, you get me? So if you use it as the best, because right now I think everybody should be revamping anything where them a second guess before. Any plans you have on the table that you never kickstart is now the time you get a book in front here, write down what you're supposed to do, and just get it done. So how you utilize it.
Yeah, man. If you don't learn nothing new during this period, you're worthless. You are worthless.
Yo,
you learn something, man. Yo, if you don't want if you couldn't cook and COVID come and you can't cook, you're worthless. Yeah, man. You have a girl. If you have a girlfriend that couldn't cook and COVID come and she still can't cook, left her.
But that music gonna say COVID mash up all the relationship, and a man never knows, so I said that rough, Because when KFC lock 7 o'clock and cooking for go on now, she a look pan him and him a look pan she. Like, what is this? Learn.
What feel better? I don't COVID really. I just have so the COVID have the free time.
Yo. Anybody come out of COVID and can't do even a left and lay up or something wrong.
Lenky there.
Up and running.
Who else there?
Goofy, check in. See, Goofy I turn on chef too,
Goofy I turn
somebody I get them thing.
Everybody I learn something.
Will be. Yo, Wednesday evening and we here and we check in and say no, basketball is interview thing, and interview thing is all about basketball. You get what I'm saying? But before we get into the interview, we see Ganja check in, big up yourself, Ganja.
Yeah,
we don't know the thing go. Listen, when we say Ganja, persons who watch overseas, we're not talking about the marijuana itself. We just call a member of the basketball fraternity Ganja. Please remember, nobody comes to where promote this and that. Although Ganja a good thing.
It's the counselor, Garfield there, man. Yes.
Up and running, see there?
Yeah, man, check in.
All right, before we get into the interview, we have a thing that we normally do where we show respect to the NBA players and also persons a part of the basketball fraternity. When it's their birthday, we try to big them, show respect, choose some highlights. And today the focus is on Maurice Stokes. A lot of persons might not know this player because he's a player from back then, right? So if you don't know, take out your pen and you learn something today. You learn something new today. So this is Maurice Stokes, his birthday. Him celebrating his birthday today, June 17th.
Imagine going to bed on a Saturday night at the peak of your game. Your future is so bright, and waking up on a Sunday morning, totally paralyzed. Nothing worked. Not knowing why. How would you react? How would I react? I don't know.
Certainly, one of the top forwards I'd ever seen play was Maurice Stokes, who had the very unfortunate accident, and it was a tragic ending to a great career. But what a super basketball player he was, and just fantastic. And he certainly will be or should have been a member of the Hall of Fame. He's one of the top forwards I'd ever seen play.
Maurice, had he been able to continue his career, would have been the dominant player in professional basketball history. If you think about a fella 6'7", playing at about 275, that could dribble the length of the floor, play guard, forward, take it in the pivot, do whatever had to be done on the basketball floor, There aren't too many of those people that have ever played the game.
After a week or two, I asked him, what did you think about when you were aware of what your situation was? He said very simply, I had one of two choices. I could have quit, or I could have rolled up my sleeves and used every ounce of energy that I had to beat this thing, whatever it was. And for the next 12 years, that's exactly what he did. His regimen was something that you couldn't imagine. Starting at 9 in the morning, going till 6 at night in physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and at the same time, keeping abreast of current events, and never, ever in the 12 years did I ever see him depressed or angry or why me or how did this happen. He looked forward to the new day every day, and he was an amazing person. He inspired everybody that came in contact with him. Tonight is kind of bittersweet. I'm thrilled to be here on behalf of Maurice. He belongs in the Hall of Fame. He was a great player. I'm a little sad that he isn't here. And in closing, let me just say, congratulations, big fella. You made it.
6'7", dominant power forward. When you hear Will Chamberlain speak so highly about somebody, you know, say, yo, he's a good player. As you realize, him go through more.
I've never heard of
you learn something to them, man. We have a teacher. Because one day we show Willie, you know, and make him know, say, you cannot deal with this, host this interview thing, and you don't know who named Obi. It don't make no sense. About 3 conk him get for that. So, we have to ensure, say, Willie keep up to date. Is there, man? Say. Anyway, big up to Vanessa Jackson the first time online. So just big up yourself.
Yeah, we're getting new fans. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Joanne, big up yourself. Yeah, I think it's about 12 o'clock now where she is. So, big up yourself, Joanne.
I forgot to do an interview with Joanne too, you know. Barnes, I learned something new too.
Yeah, man. You can't go through this COVID pandemic and you not learn nothing. No make no sense. It's like you play a full game and come off, go your yard, sit down, and you learn nothing from the game. You have to learn something in everything in life, right? Every day you must learn. All right. Let's talk. We are talking about Willie. I don't know if the viewers understand the legacy and the track record that this guest that we are going to bring on really have. So that's why it's good sometimes to have this program running now. So persons understand definitely, because when they talk about, if you check it, them say the very best coaches get their athletes to believe in themselves and also to inspire them to do things that they don't even think them could accomplish. And when we say that statement, there's no better person I could think of to bring on set than this individual, this guest, this icon, this former player, this coach, this legend. Yo, without any further ado, let's invite Coach Ludlow Barker and set.
Coach Luds.
What's up? Yeah,
the signature move, listener. I'm sending up picture with Luds just to give them on this, you know. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Luds, check your audio. We're out here, Luds.
We're not here, man. Luds, I want to go for your audio. Log out and log back in, Luds. Coming out here.
Yeah. Remember, Luds at that age, you know, so technology going to take a while for Luds get Luds get, you know. Remember, no. Let's start out with pen pal. Remember them days that Willie have to write your pen pal and then we over so and send letter, telegram.
Pen pal.
You have to wait on all.
Remember something else, pen pal. I never do it, because you don't know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know.
I know, say, MSN Messenger that will come in soon enough, so I never bother with the pen pal thing. I just wait for MSN Messenger, you see me?
Yo, we see listen, Willie, all them past players, we just say them are jealous because them are write much pen pal, you know. And one respond, a letter come from Russia to them. And a top girlies. You get me? So, I remember them things about him. Check back in it.
Not yet. You know, if I'm checking,
No.
he's on right
Will,
away.
all right. So like how we are here and we are waiting on Coach Lodge. Willard, what do you think about the Kyrie Irving coming?
All right.
Statement.
Me not think I don't. Which one? Cause the one that
The
want to
one
start in
went
the league or
the sit
the
out.
one in sit
And
out. Well,
believe that was yeah.
yeah. Well,
yeah. Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I'm not a fan of COVID, even though it me learn of something. Me wanna go back and
Yeah.
play it either. There are bigger issues right now where them are try to come across with the Black Lives Matter and them things. Yeah. I feel say if all the NBA players them to sit out and say, oh, Ray and what would I wait that to that workout? So I kind of dep on Kyrie's side, right? That's all.
But question, Willard, you don't believe that they could still play the league and still voice them opinion strongly by wearing T-shirt to games, putting up signal during the anthem and all these things. It will be at a larger platform them can protest, you know. So I don't think sitting out alone, really, you know, they could still play the league and still protest. The warm-up top could be Black Lives Matter.
So what are you saying? Kyrie not want to play?
I'm not saying that, but
Coach,
let's save that for next time.
You barely come through.
You barely hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
All right.
All right then, Coach Lodge.
Well, we don't talk about the Kyrie situation. You see, Mr. Barnes, they agree with me too. Like, you know, it's
but you know,
things to deal with now.
Barnes don't really know about ball game them way, so we have to move the person. But we'll move to Coach Lodge. We like to start our interview by asking the guests to just give us 2 words best describe them. What are your 2 words?
Determined and committed. Always determined and always committed.
Easily.
Up and ready. Question. I see a lot of young players at the court, and they normally ask this question overall due to the fact that sometimes I coach. I always say, Coach, you play basketball? And I'm going to be like that young, naive person now. Coach Lutz, did you play basketball back in your days, and for which team? And just give us a rundown on how that was.
Which team? All right. Well, we started at 61. Then moved to the club leagues. My goodness. Played for Aqua. Played for Harborview Lakers. Played for Kemco Tigers, which is at the YMCA. Played for Braves, which was really the home that I really settled with. The Braves Basketball Club under Smiley, and played for player coach Roger Marshall. Played alongside Garfield Richards, Boland, you know, those good players, great players back in the day, and played against the great gunner that you always talk about, number one in the when he played for Mustangs. Very good friend of mine and very good player, excellent player.
Mr. Lodge, honestly, I normally put my guests them on the hot seat, like when they coming down to the latter part of the interview. But you're going to hot seat right through, because your history is normal. So the hot seat early. Were you just a normal player? Would you consider yourself a good player back then where you dominate, or would you be like a Willie? How's that? You might mute, Willie.
Lodge, you're not hearing you. I don't know. You're a bit low.
It seems like he's not hearing us.
Coach, you're a bit low. We're not hearing you.
You not hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. It look like you're
right.
Top. Yeah.
Look like I'm gonna bring it up closer to the microphone. Yeah, man. I played forward, small forward, power forward, center, different positions. But come on, you couldn't leave me open. You couldn't make the mistake and leave me open. Playing against like my friend Ron. No, him couldn't leave me open. You know.
Yeah.
Back in the day, but yeah, we weren't our role players weren't normal players, right? When we had lead players like Garfield Richards, Andrew Boland, and Roger Marshall to follow, you had to keep your game up. You had to keep the standard up. And I played for two teams that didn't lose a game, which was Kemco Tigers and Braves. We almost played 2 full seasons without losing a game. So it is what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's legendary. That's legendary. I saw you play once, you know. Yeah, man. I realized that you had the 3-point.
Yeah, man. Everything.
I was just a little pipsqueak then, but yeah, man. I saw you playing, man.
Okay. Coach Lads, we know you're a coach now. We want to get into that, but before we move forward to your life as a coach, coming up, was there any coach that influenced you or motivate you to stick with the game that you'd look back now and say that coach really played a vital role in my basketball career?
Yeah, my first two coaches, which was Duet Stennett and Mr. Phibbs at Calabar, and then Long John. I don't know how many persons know Long John, but he used to play for Aqua, and he was our coach when we got the first championship at Calabar as a player against Kingston College. There's so many. Wayne Stewart. He was my coach at Aqua. One of my coaches at Aqua. Always encouraging you, always letting you know. Mr. Nibs, and boy, the man who I could really talk about, Mr. Delroy Grant, who influenced even my coaching decisions. He was, God rest his soul, was very influential in me continuing to play and being a coach and knowing how to really be yourself and really consider about people. He was always about people, always about the kids, and can't forget him. We'll never forget him.
Delroy Grant. Big up the viewers. I see the viewers. Them are show you crazy love from early out.
Yeah, man. Kelly here there. You see
Kelly here
there. Big you up.
Maurice, everybody there.
All of them.
They're already tuning in. Coach Lads, we're moving now. Yeah, we're moving now to your legacy that you have at Calabar. I use the word legacy, and I would never ever second guess that. When it started, which year you decide to start coach, to become a coach, especially for Calabar High School? So when it started?
Wow, that's a very tough question because I started coaching from when I was actually in high school. I player coached while I was in high school with Johnny Williams, our former president of basketball.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, he was the one who reminded me. I coached alongside Robert Mays with Bobby Pollock. Here he got MVP and practically sweep the awards in high school. I don't remember which year that was. Boy, to remember which year that was. That's such a long time ago, to be honest. I can't remember which year it was, but I was coaching from when I was in high school.
Oh.
Boy, God has blessed me with even victories and trophies from when I was in high school. Thanks to my assistant coach and thanks to the players who played for me.
Okay. Big up yourself, Basil. Check in early. Basil Barrett. Yeah. Coach Lads.
My teammate for Harborview Lakers and Kemco Tigers.
Yeah, and you mentioned Robert Mays. Robert Mays was the coach for Harborview Lakers back then.
Yes, Mays. Man. Harborview Lakers.
Oh, so, and Johnny Williams. So you see, Willard, you need to take out your little diary and start writing down these names.
Rich.
You know, normal name.
This is what us get along, you know, because he's a Harborview man and he usually play for Harborview Lakers. You see it? So, this is a connection from long time.
Definitely.
Coach Lads, when you talk about a successful program, obviously Calabar High School basketball program would definitely be a part of that discussion.
Thanks for saying.
No, the world can say it. It's something that is evident, right? Because we can Google it and see what is going on. Talk to us about you starting your program. What was your goals before? And do you believe now looking back, you accomplished those goals?
Well, the journey continues. A lot of the goals was one of the main goals was to make sure that basketball wouldn't be rained out at Calabar. And it seems like that we might be heading in that direction of just keeping it positive. But that was the main thing, to have kids actually play the game and let it be their life, make it become part of their life, their lifestyle. They understand teamwork, they understand being there for people, being there for each other, and also being competitive, competing for a spot in life. When you go to the workplace, compete. Do your best, do 100% all the time, 100, well, I always say 110, 120%. Give it all you have and make sure that your work speaks for itself. When people see you, they say they know what you're about just by your work, not by what you talk about, but by your work. And then what you speak out of your work, speak positive. And right now we have a positive program heading in the right direction, I think, thanks to my set of coaches, my assistant coaches, my managers. Coach Stu is online, Simone Jackson, Tessa Milligan. I think I have all friends overseas also are part of my coaching staff and part of my plans coming up, especially after COVID, which we can probably talk about later.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, free all that, man. You look like cat now. Yeah, that's what I feel right.
Is your school that? Big up Ludlow. I haven't seen you for a year. Brother, you preserve it throughout a lot of fight.
KC and Calabar, man, them couldn't agree. They still can't agree.
Yeah.
No,
but one thing about it, competitive. Mutual respect is there.
Yeah, the respect is there. The respect is there.
Every time.
I can testify to a lot of things Lud say in regards to program. I've been there, watched Luds on the court, and mentioned the persons who assist him, such as Tesfa, Goofy, and Jackson. Coach Luds, how important it is not to just, as a coach, not to be that figure just telling the players them to dominate on the court, but to also model the same thing off the court. How important is that? Talk a little bit about.
Right. Too important to not do it. Too important to not do it. Because the character of these players is what's going to make them shine out to some of these coaches that want players to play for them. And same thing in the workplace. If your character is sound, people are going to employ you and give you a lot of responsibility. And you must be ready to embrace the responsibility. And I use basketball as a way to understand, for them to understand responsibility and how to embrace it, deal with the pressure, and come out looking great. And we have a lot of those players in this island that just need sometimes to hear what they can do, not what they cannot do, what they can do, and then push them to that greatness because it's in them and we need to bring it out.
I see Joe Mamba have a statement here. I don't know if it's something I normally say to them. Don't do it until you get it right. Do it until you can't get it
wrong.
Is this yours? Is this on a t-shirt somewhere?
Yeah. We need to get that on a t-shirt. We need to get that on.
Yeah.
Maybe interview squad take that tagline then. You have to make sure you're marketing now.
I remember that, boy. That was it. That was true. I told him, do it right.
Do it right.
You can't get it wrong. Yeah, right.
Most definitely.
He's right.
As you realize, it's past players still have those little things traveling
still
with.
Remember that. That's something that's
still
good.
remember.
Yeah. Coach Luds, we have a basketball group, and today Philip Anderson mentioned how many Calabar players are playing in our league. And like I was there and I was getting some name in my head, like, yeah, man, I know them players from Calabar. But when we check it out, majority of these players, I don't know if it's you or work some miracle or something, but majority of the Calabar players them are overseas who dominate with basketball. They get a scholarship. Can you walk us through that accomplishment, or you manage to groom them and push them? Because obviously it is saying that you are telling them that it don't stop right here. They need to go further.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead. Finish.
yeah, man, we just want to hear that secret ingredients. Why majority of the Calabar top players are not in the country playing basketball, but overseas if they are able continuing the sport.
Well, it's sacrifice for both of us. Because I'm going to sacrifice the time to be there when they want to put in the work. My players used to call me, Coach, where are you? I said, where you expect me to be? All right, I'm going to be there now. I want to put up some shots. I want to get some work done. I always made myself available. And then instill that into them. Always be ready to improve yourself. Never take time off. Always be there. Always be ready. And I think that drive and that fact that I push them beyond sometimes maybe they feel that they can get to. But I make them understand that for one, you're a student athlete, student first, and then you have got to continue to put that passion and that work and effort into getting where you want to go. I will help you to get where you want to go as long as you show the commitment to get there.
Well, you see, if they go Calabar with the inner youth, you know, the oversucker with their talent and them things then.
Would I probably get taller too?
All right then. All right. Coach Lodge, it's few coaches I can put on the spot. You're a veteran coach, you're a coach that's been in it for a long time. So I can throw these tough questions at you. Tell me now, why coaching? And after answering why coaches, how hard it is to coach, because some persons, we talk about the good and we produce good players, but there's a lot of things behind that pressure an individual that sometimes you might say that coach not doing a good job, you know, but the circumstances behind what is going on might not break that coach. So talk a little bit about why coaching and what are the bad aspect that you're struggling with when it comes out to coaching.
All right. Well, when you're coaching, it's like you're changing lives. You're a teacher. You're a father figure. So when you're coaching, you have to bring that. You have to get to know your player, know the buttons to push at the right time to get them to perform at a level. Coaching is difficult. It's management of skill, but also the management of the mind of these players, because they are so talented, but sometimes they don't want to work. Sometimes they are individuals who want to do their own thing. You have to convince them that what they have can be used in this way at this time to help the team, the whole. You have to get them to buy into the whole situation, because a team is one unit. And that is where they have to buy into that I'm an individual that's going to make up the whole. It takes a lot, because we're never in a perfect situation. In Jamaica, we don't just eat, sleep, basketball. We have to deal with family problems, all kind of issues. And these young men and young women have to work through those, and you have to help them work through them. Be there for them, so that when you get them on the court, you can really get the best out of them. Sometimes they might hear you raise your voice. People might hear you raise your voice at a player and wonder, why are you talking to them like that? But because that's what will bring out the best out of them at that time. There are different ways with relating to different players and listening to them. Don't always think that you are always right. Listen to them, listen to their point of view, and then get the same result that you want just by listening to them. Just by listening to them, you get the same result. Maybe they didn't understand, or you didn't understand what they understood from what you were saying. And then you can explain it to them and get top-rate players, top-rate performances out of these beautiful human beings that I have coached for how many years. and continue to coach right now.
All right. Coach, this is the counselor is made a comment a while ago. It's on your screen, and that just pushed me right into my next question because he's mentioned about your back-to-back championship. Can you persons that watch I said we are talking about Coach Lugs and his success and this and that, but we don't even know. So let the viewers know. Can you recall how many championships you have won underneath your belt?
My goodness.
Are you talking
no.
high school or overall?
Overall.
Yeah, because it's overall. No, overall is going to be difficult.
Let him go from high school, then college, then you know.
That goes to show the viewers then. Yeah. That goes to show the viewers them of what we're talking about when we talk about top coach. You know, some coach quickly can say 3, 4, you know. Yeah, the man said that not gonna work. I can't remember that.
No. Can't remember.
So talk to us about high school.
Like, what I remember is the players who played for me. That is always easier for me to remember. The players who was on whichever journey.
Yeah, we'll have something for you, man. We'll have something for you.
All right, then. So
later, though. Don't worry yourself.
All right, so to walk us through high school, Calabar Championship underneath you as the head coach.
Wow. Geez. 1, 2, 3. Jesus. All right. I won a couple or so with Ozzy and that's Osman Farquharson. That's Melissa's brother.
Yeah, Melissa just beat him up. Yeah. So. Big up yourself, Ozzy.
Yeah, man. Big up Ozzy. I've won with Omari Williams, Malik, as you know. Oh goodness. Let
me help you. Let me help you, coach. Let me help you, coach. I guess so. I'm gonna help you out now, coach. Yeah. Can you tell me the most memorable championship that you have won that really speak to you more than any other championship?
Wow. I think the one when I shed tears on national TV.
Hold on, stop there. Hold on, stop, Lutz.
Yeah.
You stop. Hold on.
Yes.
Stop. You shed tears, Lutz. Why never can't find a video there? I wonder. Will I think it's possible?
Yeah, no, man. Supposed to can't find it, man.
GC Foster College Auditorium on Tuesday night. There was little to separate the teams throughout the contest, and that they were locked at 12-all at the end of the first quarter before Calabar pulled away to lead 40-33. At the end of the third quarter, however, Ardennes showed fight to rally to level the scores at 48-all at the end of regular time. However, Calabar outscored Ardennes 14-12 in the extra time period to retain their title. And they were led by MVP Malik McCarthy with 28 points and their coach Ludlow Barker.
I love these players. I love coaching this school. Heart and soul. Calabar for life. These players, they say I'm a top coach. No, I coach top players. Greatest players in the world. I never exchange them for anything.
Well, the under-16 final was also a competitive
affair. All right.
St. George's College beat.
Man, I lose him voice, you know. I said the players say that they were top coach.
Yeah.
I said top players, the greatest players. Said, hey, coach.
Man,
I lose him voice, you know, man. That's what I'm saying.
Coach Lutz, and Willard, you realize something. I don't know if anybody spot this. During his biggest success, and he mentioned this was one of his best moments. Him still don't even credit himself. He said that I'm not top coach. I coach top players. And that's supposed to say everything about the love for the sport, the passion, and to we can't clap with that.
What you mean, man? What you mean, man?
Yeah, man, big up yourself, lad. Big up yourself. So like how we're here now and the tears kind of gone a little bit. Yeah. What was so special about that championship?
Well, I was going to believe in Calabar. Yeah,
Oh.
because everything was getting rough, you know. So I was about to probably have to quit. That season almost didn't happen because I was going to quit. And thanks to people like Michael Williams and even my principal, Albert Carter, who came in and changed that dynamics of everything and kind of made sure I know I was appreciated there at Calabar and tried to change my situation so I could continue. And boy, to make that sacrifice and to know that the season almost didn't happen, I think all the emotions came out on the night after. And trust me, it was a beautiful feeling and one I'll never forget.
It looked
So
like you
Will-
would shout enough though, like enough cuss you that cuss and everything, like your
No,
voice.
you see anytime you're inside GC
GC,
Foster
yeah,
for
man.
players to hear you.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
man.
man. But
I
no, man,
realize
I didn't have to do a lot of shouting because trust me, those players did everything that was asked of them and more.
Listen, being honest, we don't want to spend too long on that, because I know Basil know a spin up and down, Basil might hurt me, no. You know what? Then I go down a while ago,
Hold on now. Let's see this. What go on with Royal Tracy? What go on?
It's the Tracy at some point.
Just doing him job, man. Just doing him job. I see him almost every day, every day at work.
Okay. Coach Lodge, as not only a player but also a coach, mainly coming up, and you're relevant even up to today because you still have team dominating and you're still doing a lot in basketball. I just wanted to I just want to hear from someone who have been there. Could you give us is it fair to ask to compare the 90s comparing to this era now basketball in regards to development, for example? Back then you normally play the high school, which is ISA, the same ISA, yeah. Compare how ISA normally run back then to now in regards to development and what can do better and what is going right. So it's both.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I said it I think about a couple of years ago. ISA is the worst thing that happened to basketball because ISA doesn't care about the sport, right? All they do is run the leagues. And they have told us, right? Back then it was run by our association. And that made more sense because they would more understand the game of basketball, understand what players were trying to do on the court and try and help push the sport forward. Right now, there's nothing that's going to help push the sport forward unless we continue to enhance these programs that coaches are having day in, day out with the players and promoting them and let them understand that we need to develop from the ground up. So now, unfortunately, the young players who have the drive and want to play don't have the leagues, and so that we were playing because you would finish a school match and then change your gears and jump into a club gear to play your match until 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night and get home and study, do your homework, put yourself together for school the next day. These players don't have that opportunity because there are no leagues like that going on. We have the NBL that just started back really, and then COVID stopped it. But then we're playing a lot of leagues, and then after school league, after you finish playing a year, there's not even an all-star game. We used to play all-star game, the best players play against each other in a game coached by not necessarily your coach, but coached by another coach from another team. So you get a different experience. The experience, we used to travel to Cayman and play with Barbados and play that is not open to them. So we can't, to be fair to them, we can't say that their skills are not up to standard because they are not good enough or they don't want to work. But if they had been given some of the opportunities that we were given in terms of playing a lot of basketball, we played a lot of basketball. Midnight Express, Bowyer Ball, all of those were at the stadium. Played. We used to go all over the island and play against other players. Montego Bay, St. Elizabeth, Negril. They used to have the Hotel League being played where players could get a lot more experience. When you're playing against better players, you're going to get better. Iron sharpen iron. And right now, there's not enough of that. And that's what we need to improve. That's just some of the things that we need to improve the basketball. Just saying in terms of the play. Just for the play itself, that's what we need.
Well, Ludlow, you speak some. A lot of people in the comments agreed with what you were saying, and I for one never know say it's because like Issa why a lot of these things not going on. Like great question, Gary, and great answer, Lods.
Yeah.
So you what? No, I want to know: is there a solution? Let's have a conversation. Is there a solution for this? Like, how can we get it back into the hands of the association, if that's the thing, to make it better for them things that can go on again?
Right. We need to strengthen the association again. And now they become an association that is in control of basketball, direction of basketball. Right now, that's not it. We're not in control of the game. We don't have a home. Basketball used to have a home. We don't have a home now. Right? Where we're going to play basketball that is owned by the Basketball Association, or at least paying enough rent that you don't have to go there and have to cancel the game because somebody's going to pay to use the venue.
Yeah.
Really? If we continue to do that, we're not in control of the sport. We have to take back charge of the sport. We have good coaches with good programs going on all over the island who need the support. They have players with talent. But there's nothing for them to do. Really, competitively, there's nothing for them to do. And without competition, they will never get better. We have to get the competition. Definitely have to get competitions going.
I agree 100%.
Coach, big up Dave Black just tune in, as you know, we have to big up
Dave
us side.
Black.
Yeah, man, and I agree with you 100%.
Coach Lods, you mentioned enhance the program from ground up. And that is one of the solutions you mentioned earlier when you say, we are going to get back things off the ground. I know for a fact that you operate a camp. Can I label it a camp?
Well, it's a program. It's because it includes camps, so it's a program.
And that is can you speak a little bit about that program for persons who might not know exactly what we're talking about?
All right, it's called Ball, BAAL. And you know how we love ball, right?
Yeah.
Here in Jamaica, we love play ball. So it's spelled BAAL, and it's basketball at all levels. And this is about all age groups, right? We're trying to get it now that we can get even 6-year-olds. We have 6-year-olds passing through, but hopefully after COVID, we can get something consistent from 6 up, because our players have started too late. Talk about playing basketball. I'm playing basketball at a high level. Too late. So I want to start early. And it is all about fun of the game, techniques of the game, and getting better. We want them to love the game first, right? If they love the game, fall in love with the game, then you can get them to any levels that you want them to. Just get them to fall in love with the game, and then you introduce the skills and all the competitiveness, and you'll get the kind of players that you really want to represent us in Jamaica here.
Coach Lods, as I said before, this man I do a whole lot. Because when you talk about him get the program off outside of Calabar, him have D1 team, him have college team, NBL, we can go a long list. However, we want to talk about you are also the president of the Basketball Coaches Association, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
man.
So let me put you now in a hot seat.
Lots of
Cause it's
carry
enough hot
your
seat I can
title.
put you in there, you know. We had some guests last week, although I think Shooty mentioned, which is Linford Brown for persons who might not know him by Shooty. Michael
Correct.
Jackson mentioned that there's a lot of blame basically could be thrown on coach for development in regards to the players. Is that a fair statement, or is a statement that you would side with? How do you would you answer that question? Are respond to that statement to say that the coaches, some of the coaches, is the reason why the development of these youngsters is not where it's supposed to be.
Well, let us say there's no money in basketball really.
Yeah.
So coaches will have to commit themselves. And maybe some people really don't commit themselves, right? Which
Mhm.
should change, right? Which should change because coaching take a lot. Coach take a lot out there, it take time, it take effort. And we as coaches have to embrace sometimes to try and do things to make it worthwhile for the kids. I think sometimes we're not putting enough effort, maybe thinking about the money first and then not putting in the work. But the kids need the work. And so I kind of agree with them when they say about the lack of work with some of our coaches. The commitment of the coaches needs to change, right? When we're ready, we jump on foolishness. When we want to talk the important things, you don't hear any voices in our group. But if there's something frivolous, yes, everybody talk about it. But there are serious issues in our basketball that our coaches can change, and we need to make that step forward sometimes. So I'll take that, but also we don't want the interference from the association either, because when you put your programs together, what you want is the association to endorse and promote. They don't need to be involved in the trenches with us. They are out there to try and make the money to help these programs. That is their job. Promote the programs, get people interested in the programs, and get the money into the programs so the coaches can do the work. That is what they need to do. Admin.
I have to laugh because we normally do our survey, and whatever the guests mention on set we have Tanya working behind stage, Kim Moya, and also Sativa who write them down, and that is some of the complaints normally come to say that the leaders are not doing enough marketing, and they constantly say they don't have the money, and you're saying those are their two main rules. So if they are not doing that, basically, you can basically say they are not doing anything.
Exactly. Two main
Okay.
rules. That's it.
All right. Question. 'Cause as I said before, you're going in the hot seat, and it's kind of warm now.
No
In
problem.
regard, as the president of the Coaches Association, do you believe that the coaches is being robbed from the knowledge? For example, when last we have up to what level 3 certification in coaching? When
Yeah,
last
right
a
here
level
now.
3 cert? When last a level 3 certification workshop or licensing took place? Can you recall?
No, I can't recall, but I attended the last one. But it is some time now. And then what has happened is that you have a level 3 and some persons weren't trained in level 2 and some weren't
Oh,
trained in level 1. So the progression is not happening, right? And we need it to be consistent, right? These things, when you're talking about certification, we can't take it for a joke thing, because if we start taking it seriously, then our sport will start taking seriously. So we need the progression. Level 1, okay, so we have level 1, 2, 3 months. We know, all right, we're pushing out a set of level 1 coaches, and we'll start moving into level 2, and we have the progression. Right now, we don't have enough coaches but we won't have enough coaches until we start sorting out the process. The processes need to be sorted out. The process is not where it's supposed to be. It's not in line with the sport. And until we get those things in line with the sport, we're going to be in problems. We're going to be in problems. Sport is
I see a question here from our family member, LaDonna.
LaDonna.
Big up herself. I think she asked similar to what I just asked still.
Yeah,
All about the knowledge
of coaches or the regular coaching clinics.
Are we growing with the sport? So I think you basically answer the question earlier.
I can tell you this though. I'm a level 1 coach, you know. and coaching, it's not easy. When you're up on the bench and you can't talk and see the game and say, "Oh, coach, that do this or you play." Yes, so when you are the coach and you have to manage the team, totally
and I'm looking
different.
back at you.
It's not easy.
No, with that being said, Willard, the reason even this is as what Coach Lutz says, very important because if you remember, we had a guest, Abdul, who's a referee, who also argued on the referee side to say that they are not being pushed to go to do the FIBA licensing, and because 5 years passed and they didn't have a competition, so they would have to be refereeing in the national league so they could qualify to go overseas. So as I said, this licensing thing is very important. So it's the same thing. How can you have a level one a coach that even never get level 2 do level 3 certification? It's just like who come license, and these are things which also we stop the progress because some persons majority, I know I say majority, and I'm going to take that totally. They have excellent coaches in Jamaica. There's no joke about that. We have coaches that need to shape up. We have coaches that don't understand fully, but ego and maybe the fact that they don't want to come to other. I can speak on that because I also assist in coaching. So it's a thing about persons need to get knowledgeable in regards to whatever you're doing. Anything at all in life, you have to be knowledgeable. So this licensing thing is very important. Hope that the right ears is listening and we can sort out, write down who are level 1, who are level 2, and who's supposed to the level 3 and try to organize the next level 3 training because it can't just be on the basic level. If coaches are at the basic level, the players must be on the basic level. Simple maths. Simple maths. If we're on basic level with coaching, the players are going to be basic level. All right?
The process is not in line with the sport. And the process is simple. All we have to do is follow the guidelines that FIBA set out, and we'll be fine. But we're not organized, and we're not willing to get the information out and have a good structure to align the process with the sport.
There's Joseph Ivan.
Yeah, well, Lodge, what's your recruiting process? Do the coaches go to the classroom for the tall kids and introduce them to the game? Yeah.
That's not my process. That's not my process. But you can't teach height. So if you get in the height, fine. But like at my school, where the challenge is when you have track and field to compete with at the highest level at my school, that is usually not possible to get the height. So what I usually look for is character. Those who are willing to work, because I don't have any problem bringing any player from scratch as long as they're willing to work. I'll put in the work with them and get them to where they should be or where I know they can be. Not because they're necessarily physically gifted at the time, but because of their work ethic. And the work ethic is what I can build on and turn them into a basketball player.
Coach Lodz, you talk about your player and you can identify your player. Let me see if you can tell us about your past players. We're going to put some photos on the screen, and as you recognize who that player is from Calabar, you can just tell us. You can give us a statement or one word to describe them whenever they come up on screen. So look and see if you can identify.
All right, let's see now.
No, players, Willard.
No.
Players.
Wait, let me go back. What you mean? Players?
Yes.
Yeah.
If I can identify them, of course.
And
Them
he's
name
talking
there.
about, yeah, I put them up and tell you one word to describe them.
2 words you want to describe them.
Our statement.
All right.
Cool.
Oh Lord. Arrogant and know the game. Knows the game. Arrogant and know the game. Arrogant and know the game.
Killer.
Right.
Oh, beast. Always willing to work. Made personal sacrifices. Great family man. Real character guy. Real character. Shield. Anybody else?
You not seen that? Yeah.
No.
Yo, you not seen that picture that I put up? Hold on, all right. Let me try again. Still not see?
Whoa. All right. Boy, I just love this young lady. Like my daughter. Tenacious. Give you a whole heap of trouble for coach. Because she loves to have her own way. But when she go out there and play, she going to give you 110%. Daniel Johnson.
All right.
Shaim Powell. Always smiling, very jovial young man, but a killer on the basketball court, dangerous player. And I wish him all the best because he's destined for greatness. Jordan Brown Mamba Kelly. This young man is going to surprise a lot of people. This young man is destined for the NBA because he never quits, never gives up, and anything you give him to do, I'm going to get it done. If he don't get it done while I'm there, by the time I leave, I'm going to send me a video and say, Coach, this is what you need? Yeah, man. Brown Mamba.
All right.
Yeah, cool. Last.
Whoa. Well, probably one of the most talented. This is the Mamba. Kyrie Irving. Let me tell you, man. Does everything. IQ at the game is phenomenal. And I'll always, I think, as far as I know, I'll always be his coach. Because that's what they call me. So, Coach Luds, my respect to you, Kyrie McLeish.
Coach, fun fact. At the first time, in bad man, at the first you would have missed mash up above you Lakers, and you know I'm a Lakers fan, and I went to watch them play against Majestic Garden, man, and I never know McLeish till then. I miss McLeish walk to above you Lakers side, yo, I go over there and shake the man hand. Say, brother.
I mean, I missed that game, man. That's not a problem.
I think he me dunk on you, Gary.
Yeah, man. I never leave yet. I'm not behind yet. Coach Luds, as I said, we're here and we're talking about, and when we talk about facts, obviously big up Mamba, because viewers them quickly, hail up Coach.
All right, so well, you can see a coach develop Mamba, him talk it before him even know the game. And with the Garfield here, I say, I love for have a coaching clinic and them things there. So, boy, hopefully basketball look pretty next year.
Okay.
After COVID.
As I said before, Coach Luds is here with us, and we have to. I'm going to definitely shout out Coach Simon and Coach Stumble we call him, and also Dave Black, who normally run camps. And the reason why I'm in it because they always put on them Saturday camps, which is free of cost, and the players can come and just work out and work on them skills. So I have to say kudos to them. As I say, sometimes the money not in there for the coaches, but the love and just the fact that they want to see the players get better, then put out the make an effort. Rowan Robinson have to big up himself also. Because I'm just talking about what I see now. Maybe it has been done back then when you see I normally have the Midnight Express and them something, but I wasn't up around them time there. Sullivan have a big up. All right. With that being said, you guys are the youth ambassador, and you guys basically can tell us in regards to youth basketball what is going on. So I'm going to show you again underneath the warm up the seat a little bit more. I think it's last year, Willard, if my mind serves me correctly, we had a team that went to Puerto Rico, the under 17 team.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lovely performance. Just looking as a coach who organize your own program, you deal with the youth program, looking on what took place last year, what would you say to motivate those players, or what you saw went wrong?
All right. Well, what was disappointing about that tour was the fact that those young men, most of those players played, and we had an all-star weekend, and most of those players that went was actually on the team that I coached. And unfortunately, with the preparation and everything, none of my coaches, myself, CB, or Coach Martel, was in the decision process. We had actually worked with these players. We weren't given a chance to continue to work with them. Nobody saying the head coach and goes to Puerto Rico. But I was saying we already did a lot of work with these kids, put them in a certain place, and then you have the selection process and the continued work now for the team part of it. And not one of the coaches were able to be a part of it. That I thought was definitely a big problem. You're moving coaches, even the parents were asking why none of us weren't involved. So you change the whole mood of the team, the mood of the players, the understanding of what they were going to be doing going forward. Even if you came in and said, well, coaches, we're going to introduce some new formations or something that we want to use, that would be fine. But even one of the coaches should have been involved because they were already interacting with these players. The other thing is I feel it for Coach Stumbo. I thought we needed more time. The team itself needed more time. We keep doing these things where we said we're going to have an incubator and keep a certain level of players together, even 2 Saturdays out of the month. Keep them together, keep them playing, keep them competing. And then out of that group, you pick a national team. Usually for other countries, they have their players playing right through the year together, training together. And then they might bring two or three other internationals from overseas and put them in. And if they are good enough to make it, then they make it. But if you don't have a continued program, and the program is simple, keep these players playing together and competing, then you select them. Don't just bring them up in a couple of weeks and months and expect them to go and compete against teams that have a structure where they can pick from anywhere. Their players are all over the place playing competitive ball and bringing them, but they're also playing in the country together consistently. 5, 6, 7, 8 months they're playing together, so that if they come together in 2 or 3 weeks to prepare for a competition, they're ready. We need that kind of structure here in Jamaica, and it's not that hard to do because you have coaches who are sacrificing the time and they're already on the court, they're working. Have the players come to this court that Saturday. 2 Saturdays down that they go to another court. So you keep it moving all over the island, whatever you want to do. But keep the players, the best players, playing together and competing.
Well, that's real talk, coach.
That's real talk.
And you guys are definitely at the court because I see you guys. So I don't know why they don't have them playing on. It's so simple, it's so easy.
Big up Kmar, just checking.
Yeah, man. we also have a question here now from Linford Sinclair. What's the biggest challenge you have faced so far since taking over UTech pushing the sport, since this would be the next level available for a player while the other league is out?
Okay. They definitely UTech now is trying to get school back in order, and then now they have to reshuffle the calendars to first semester sports. Look like maybe all sports going to be played next semester, which would be January, which is a whole new ball game. Because normally basketball and netball are first semester sports, and then second semester you play volleyball, cricket, the other sports. So right now, a lot of the challenges, of course, one of the challenges is changing head of departments. Since I've been at UTech, this is the second department head I'm working with. And it is every when you have a change, they have to feel away until they're really in charge of the process. But they are willing and they are understanding what I am bringing to the table. And UTech is a little bit too closed because we have to expand. Basketball is too big to be held into a cube. And I'm trying to get them to understand that, because that's the only way we're going to grow the sport in colleges. Right now, it's only because of COVID, because you remember I normally host international tournaments since I've been there. They haven't had any for a while since they had the UTech Classics. So I've had like 2 or 3 different international tournaments and planning to have more. But right now the facilities weren't up to standard. We don't have the right hoops right now, but they're working on it. So when I get that part of it, then I have another avenue. I have another avenue to help kids again. So I have avenue to help kids locally and overseas. And that is what means the most to me, being at UTech.
Okay. First is mentioned on your normal year, we don't have any league because we don't have any money. And then we hear that we can't get any money because we don't have any league to attract any sponsor. Then, Willard, maybe you need to ask a question. How it go work?
No.
Well, I can tell you. Gary, let me tell you something. When Johnny Williams, I encouraged Johnny Williams to become president. And I told him that he need to get rid of everybody when him going. Unfortunately, the Constitution doesn't allow that. And I can tell you, when I was in basketball earlier, when I was younger, we voted to change because usually with that Constitution, is the affiliates voted. You had people from, it wasn't just the heads of the admins of the different conferences. There were actually teams involved. But the problem was quorum, getting the quorum for each meeting. People traveling from Manchester, Mobay, St. Elizabeth, wherever they're traveling from, and then you don't have a quorum for the meeting. So that's why it changed to the admin heads. I can tell you it's one of the worst things that ever happened to basketball, because right now, that change now put the decision making in few people's hands. And now we're in problems because we need to get some of the people who are in basketball need to get out. And what we need is put the people to work who are good at what they do. Put them in the position that they are good at what they do and let them work, because that is this friend and company situation cannot continue. Just put the people who know what they're doing in a different position that you need to be filled, and then do it by performance, make it performance based. If they don't do their job, them out, and you find somebody else until we get it to be handled like a business. Basketball is a business, and our admin need to handle it like a business. And when they handle it like a business, then the sport going to grow again.
Most
I feel so too, you know. I feel so too. And I say JKM Babilo say the players should have a vote, and Ruan had mentioned that to say we don't have a players association here and lots. So I think we definitely need something like that too. But I know for a fact they have people in the administration where boy them I don't think them love basketball again. Maybe them love it one time, but them not love it again, and them no want to see it grow.
I want to act like I don't know what I'm.
Sometimes them in over them head. Maybe that's not what they're best suited for. No, just move them into a position they're best suited for and use them there.
I am basically from Guyana now. I'm from Guyana now. I don't know what is going on in Jamaica.
Right.
Yeah, I'm in Guyana. Coach Lodge, why the phobia? Why are these persons at the top scared to approach the personnel who can get the job done? Because, like for example, you mentioned you guys were working with the under 17 team before them even select them to go where they're supposed to go. But still, they were reluctant to turn to any one of those coaches and said, assist. Why the phobia? What is scaring them away?
No, nothing that's scaring them away. I feel it's control I want. Everybody want to control. But control what? The product needs to be fixed. So why are you trying to control it? Control a good product. You know what the best thing about the product is our players. These players that come out day in, day out and sacrifice them time and work. That is the best part of the product right now. The product can be so dynamic. And I have a product that is I have so many plans coming out of COVID that as Willie said, it's a lot of things that you can learn during COVID, but it's not for me, it's not learning, it's time. Now I have time to put things in place and get them going. So
Definitely so. You mentioned also if about development when I asked you what we can do to improve. You mentioned enhance the program from ground up, and you also mentioned more leagues. I know for a fact that you have a summer league that you normally run, which try to assist or to help the growth of youth basketball. Can you speak a little bit how that come about and or the founders and the main initiative from that?
Thanks for bringing that up, because I just like to apologize to all our players that unfortunately we're not going to have any summer league, but we're going to have a league. It's postponed. We won't have a summer league. The co-founders is myself, two founders, and myself, Michael Williams, and myself. So it's all about youth, and we're hoping to make the league even much bigger. We had U16s and U19s, and we're hoping now to have a U14 and then go to probably U12. That's what would have happened for this summer league. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But that was born out of the fact that when usually coaches don't get to see their players until when school starts September and then by that time they don't get enough preparation. This was keeping the kids playing basketball right through. Not all of them were able to go overseas. Some players would go overseas and maybe play over there, play with their friends, whatever it is. But some of our local players out here needed something to do, because that is what is happening. I said we need more leagues. And speaking of leagues, we need a professional league. If we're going to build the sport and get money into the sport, and I'm talking to my sports minister, my beloved sports minister, because I'm going to need her help with this one and another project that I have. We need a money league. We need a league that will attract some of our Jamaican players overseas to come and play. They are going to other small islands and paying 500, 1,500, whatever it is, US to play for 5,000 US. They come into that country, they spend their money, come and stay over and play for a weekend for that money. Put up 5,000 US. 5,000 US is a lot of money, 5,000 US, 10,000 US, and let them come here and play. when they come here and play, they spend their money here. And we get back the money. You get to charge to see professional, semi-professional players play. And when you get that competition on the calendar, you can get more and more talent here. And then it'll help our national team that Mr. Turner is trying to build. I know Rick is such a good coach and he loves Jamaica so much. But the project needs help. And it needs organization, needs input. And some of the people who has the input, and so unfortunately, we're not getting the opportunity to give what we can do to make it happen, because I'm one of those who want to see a team in the Olympics playing regularly, not just this Olympics coming up, regularly. Jamaican basketballers are too talented for us not to be playing in the Olympics and playing world basketball. I have too many players outside, so many coaches inside, I have so many players playing overseas. And we need to get them going and playing for Jamaica. We have some of the best.
Look like coach
because of Jamaicans, we are built for sport. You know, we are built for sport. You understand me?
Coach, I understand, and I agree.
All about yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Willard, I tell you, Coach does just spit the truth, and you can really say him put some thought into it. You know, somebody just pump and set and just talk because they mouth. You know, they want to talk.
I just out for say Coach Lodge the president. I'd like it to have about out. I'm say, yo, hold on. Probably Coach Lodge no want to be president. You see what I say? But it's a division coach.
Be honest. Even in our coaches group, I think the other day, I think Coach Harvey mentioned something, and then like a majority of the coaches, just talking about the good old days, and it's just refreshing today that even when Coach Lodge mentioned, he's not mentioned about the good old days. He's looking to the future. And I think sometimes we, as players, we are looking at the glory days and we are saying we are not in it fully again. So maybe the love kind of pass. But it's funny. The real thing about it, Willard, we have to understand as players and as coach that we're looking, if we pass our line, we say, yo, listen, Gary, now can make back the national team of age. You have to say, no, what we can do for help Jamaica now. So what are you doing? What are you supposed to do? So Coach does now look back him, I look forward to say more than one Olympics.
Gary, pre this.
Yes.
Come on, I just said it. So can we have a Masters League? For the whole man them when I want to give away the game, where still a dominate. You can still play, you know. Why we have a Master League? Yeah, come on, too. Put up a Master League. The whole man them.
You are so right, Willie. You are so right. Let me tell you something about that Masters League.
The YMCA team come back.
Right? On the can't start me on basketball. Right? When you're talking about a Masters League is an international league. So if we have a Masters League, we can get countries to come here and play in our league, and then our team travel and play in their league. So it's not far-fetched. It's one of the best moves you could make. Again, it's money into the coffers of the country. We have got to keep the structure going so that the basketball can grow, and it's growing at all levels if we keep the process. It's a process and structure. The structure is not that hard as long as you understand it and willing to put in the work to get it done. And we have grassroots people who can get certain part of it done, and we have people who can do the next level done. And we just keep the building blocks. We have the foundation. The foundation is there, but we're not utilizing it properly, right? It's not being supported enough. And we support the foundation, then the building is going to grow like a skyscraper, because at Jamaica, this physically we are gifted. All we need is the right tools and the right situations put together for us to achieve what we can. Utmost for the highest, Gary.
Definitely, which is right. Willard. Hold on, before I should pay respect to Robinson. What Coach Robinson is saying.
Saying I is coming.
The program reaching the persons who truly again coming back.
Yes,
yeah, so
yes, it is.
So that is one of the reasons for this program to even spark some fire and get back that love, you know.
Big up Vashil still in there. He's another legend. You see me? Man, turn up the court, you know, so I have to big him up. You see it?
Yeah. I want to pick your brain a little bit more, Coach Lutz. In regards to, you mentioned something that I think about 2 years ago, I was on the North Coast and I was just wondering, I was thinking about it and I said, I don't know why we don't approach to have a hotel league in a sense, because I was on at the hotel and I realized that the court was there, lovely court, every little thing, and I was saying that sometimes I'm here alone and shoot around and nobody there. I say, imagine if we could get this facility where the players can come. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how the hotel league normally operate back then, because you mentioned that we had a hotel league at one time. Coach Lutz?
Yeah, man. One good thing about the hotel league. Yeah, you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
You hear me, Gary?
Yes.
Okay. The hotel league for sure was a source of employment for our players. So that's a main thing about having a hotel league, because the hotel league was a main form of employment for our players. We have got to get back the hotel league. The hotel league meant you played against persons visiting the country as well. And then all the hotels would play for, say, a month and crown a champion. So you'd get the facilities of sometimes staying at the hotel, even for the night, for the day, and just enjoy the whole experience. It's a different experience playing the hotel league. You'd travel down the night before and stay at the hotel, wake up early, game start 9, and you play right through the day. And again, there's another competition. You're playing against locals as well as you're playing against foreigners.
No.
It is a new experience. The hotel league is definitely a way to go.
I think it's the time now, Willard, we need to encourage the viewers, persons who are looking on, who might be interested in contributing to the sport somewhere, somehow. Maybe they meet some hurdles back then, some red flags, some red tape where they couldn't pass. I'm saying, I know for a fact that majority of the persons in the basketball fraternity, they are watching the interview. They know about it. They are listening. And what we are pushing is that some of these ideas don't fall on deaf ears. We need the persons who are listening to get a notepad out, a pen, and write down some of these ideas, you know. You can't say too big for learning. You can't know everything. The man who know everything don't know nothing. All right? So we have to try, and we are encourage persons. These are some good, brilliant ideas Coach Lutz is showing out to us. Let us put the ego aside. Let us stop saying that this and that, but let us just listen. Get back to maybe we need a long table or a big round table where everybody can sit down and we talk. Because guess what? We are not just doing this program just for persons to be here. We really want it to develop the sport, a way of triggering that you know, that bullet to ensure that we go to places.
Facts.
Definitely so. All-Star. We mentioned All-Star. Well, because I wrote down a lot of things you mentioned. But before we reach to the All-Star that normally take place, Willard, have you ever seen one of Coach Lutz's training sessions?
Yeah, man.
I mean, Simone Jackson and Goofy, KJ Stewart, all Tesla. Tesla like lose, you know. Every time we beat Tesla cry. But it's a good little coach. Can we find a clip of them training, Willard?
Let's see.
Is it so? Hey, is it so? Is it so? Coco be our own and bounty killer.
stay forward, lean forward, chest down.
Come on, let's run.
It's a party. Let's get together. Make it happen.
Let's make it happen, yo.
Feel much
Same thing. Turn the cone.
I'm just so that you see, viewers, you see we're now on a joke. Coach Loves, your mic mute. Will you unmute, Coach? Yeah, you see what I talk about. Me see resistance, ban and movement. Simone, that was Simone Jackson, right? That was Simone. Conducting our next legend. Need to get Simone on the program.
Definitely.
But when we heard KJ Stewart testify, I said, how important it is, Coach Lutz, to have a good team around when they come on to your initiatives. Because even with this, sometimes when you're not there, the program still continue, persons are there. Talk about the importance of teamwork and sharing for me when they come on to development.
Yeah, definitely, because it don't make sense one team is always winning and the information only staying in one place. In order to grow, it have to share. I believe that when my knowledge, if I pass away now, my knowledge, and it will continue on, my program continues way after I have passed, because we share, I put them in places to do what they love to do. They enjoy coaching, they enjoy working out there, and you want to see them interacting, you want to see them work, and this is how we're going to improve it. Right now, the minds are not meeting enough. Just like how the players, the skilled players are not meeting enough to get development going. Because right now, it has to happen that way because the structure has to be fixed. Right? And I'll keep talking about the structure being fixed because I believe in structure. Because of the structure that we have, it continues to build and grow. Sometimes I am a victim of, I think our program is we are a victim of our own success because we have players leaving that play us 1 year and they leave. But I'm not going to hold them back because right now some of them need to get there and then come back and give to the country. They need to get out there, get the experience, get the exposure, go as far as they can. NBA, sky's the limit. Let them go out there and represent Jamaica.
Okay, most definitely. And we totally agree. We need to see them leave here. We say Kofi are the things. We say Basil, we say a little shooter. I remember name Taylor. The shot.
Javon Taylor, JT.
Jesus. Yo, we need to get in touch with JT, you know. Good liquor baller too. As I said, Willard, see him cross you one time, you know, you never drop.
Oh, JT?
Yeah.
No, brother. Yo, mama said there's levels, you know. JT was very good at his level. There's levels to this. All right?
Okay. All right. Coach Lutz, my issue is you mentioned about this all-star, and you mentioned about things that you'd love to see come in place. Is it something that the coaches themselves cannot organize when they come on to maybe even an all-star get? I need to the viewers might be asking how much control is there that the coaches themselves can put on something where, as you know, the coaches are normally responsible for the players. So if the coaches them decide that we're going to have an all-star, we're going to get a Arden, we're going to get a Calabar, we're going to get a KC court, and we're going to use that. Is that something that can take place, or we have to go through certain bodies to push forward? Willard, Coach Lud's mic mute.
Is muted? Oh, no.
Yeah.
So unmuted. No, yeah. Unmute your mic, Coach. I can't do it for him because he muted himself.
Okay.
Coach.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, some players are always going to get left out somehow when you do it independent. But we have run our own under 14 when Issa decided there was going to be no under 14. We ran our own under 14
Oh.
and ran well. So we can do all of those things. It was one of the best under 14s I've ever had, thanks to CB, who allowed us to use St. George's, and credit to our coaches who do a lot of these things. Ricardo Edwards traveled all the way from Old Harbor, and we made it every Saturday. Mark Bloomfield was present at the time, got KFC on board and got chicken for the kids. So we can always do the products. But as I said, the admin now supposed to endorse it, get the sponsorship, even get hydration for the kids for the day. It's some simple things they can do. Because yes, we can get the talent together, we can put the programs together. That is not a problem. But there's structure to the thing, and it gets the exposure when you have they're a part of it, because you're trying to grow the sport. Because you can do a lot of things outside of the association, but that won't help the basketball image. And we need to change the image. If we're going to get sponsorship, we have to change the image. Marketing is image, right? And it have to be consistent. And that is probably, and from you put a fixture out there, it have to be trusted, right? And you can't get media support if they cannot trust your schedule. So basketball is an indoor sport, and it needs to be played indoors. We need a home. We need a home. Basketball need a home. And I'm hoping to build a home at 61. There will be no more rain out games, and that we can have a proper structure. As I said, I have a lot of future plans, Gary, if you understand.
Which is right. Succession planning is always best. I have been saying this, and you continue to say it. We need to stop playing basketball outside. We need to get inside. We need some homes. We need to be indoor. All right. Yeah. So before we wrap up, we had a little at seat again. We have some coaches. Maybe you can recognize everyone, but when you see the picture, can you just give us even 2 words best describe them?
What? Mr. Remeke. Thought him was my enemy at one point. Thought him was an enemy in the sport. But just misunderstood. A man who cares and needs the support. He can help us get somewhere because technically he understands. Technically gifted. He's not into the politics.
Okay.
Spidey, my goodness. Teammate, friend, ultra competitive. Boy, hate to lose and has done so well. So well. More success to you, my friend. Chicken Harvey. Probably too busy for basketball right now. Dr. Harvey. Yeah. The doctor. Probably too busy for basketball, but definitely kind, compassionate person, and just love the sport and always give of his best.
Okay.
All right.
Last one.
Wait, I have one too. I'm not sure, but let's see.
Michael Baba Williams. Someone who loves Calabar, loves Jamaica. Sometimes a little bit misunderstood. But definitely I owe a lot of the fact that I am still coaching at 61 to this gentleman right here, besides, Mr. Mack and Mr. Williams and other persons that I can definitely mention. But yeah, definitely. Michael Baba Williams.
Big up, big up.
Who this?
Yo, way back on my shop fella's head. Well, that's the great. That's Andrew Kennedy.
My goodness, look at Andrew.
Yeah, man.
Andrew Kennedy. Way back Calabar.
Way back.
I think way back. Yeah, so we dig up, I know, I will find some.
Yes.
So I know majority of those names, so the viewers might be who them prepare, but as I said before, it's a learning thing.
Yeah, man.
Because Willard, if I understand, the Calabar start enter basketball from 1972, you know. When I'm a player for 72, when I'm a player for the Modern Furnishing Trophy.
Yeah.
Willard, listen to me, man. You have to know how one.
That gentleman won what? 1973, I think.
Yes.
73 or 76 he won, yeah.
76
Michael
and 77.
Yeah, I think, hold on, 77. Michael.
77, yeah.
Yes, 76, 77, yes.
When get after that?
Yeah,
that was the main thing back then.
After that.
All right.
The first championship came in 71, though.
Yeah, man. So rich history of basketball, as I said before. Willard, is there any questions out there? I don't want to jump the viewers and close off.
No, just big up. I pay big up, man. See, I understand.
Jesus, everybody know Coach Lodge.
Yeah, man. People tune in today for Coach Lodge, man. I tell you, man. All over.
What can we say? Coach Lodge, you're loved.
Yeah, man.
Blessings to you all.
No, it's thanks to you, Coach Lodge. Whenever we talk about a coach that you can model your action or you start a program, you start play from way back at Calabar, then you leave and come to Calabar and you continue with the program. Up to today, you're relevant. As I said before, your team is still winning championships, still one of the most dominant team. You talk about Midnight Express and you usually go play basketball. We need to touch on that a little bit more. You also enlighten us about the difference back then when Issa and where we are now, the importance of sponsorship. The roles of job in the sense that they should do with marketing and also try and finance some of these programs. You touch even about getting players not to play locally or just to view basketball as a Jamaican thing, but you have the option to go out and spread your wings, fly. We see a lot of pictures I put up earlier with past players who are now overseas now playing for colleges and universities. Mamba most definitely comment and said that up to now, what you taught him back then is the same thing that he is modeling up to now. What can we say? How can you tell us thanks? Are we supposed to tell you thanks? Thanks, Coach Lodge, the interview squad to be on the program tonight. And we must say, continue the hard work. And one thing I love about Coach Lodge, Willard, not only him develop the players, him try to ensure that his team is there. So it's always play a mentor role to obviously young coaches coming up underneath Coach Lodge and that can do good things. Simone Jackson, and it's not just because of Calabar, him to assist the females there because him assist them at the camp. So it's an open thing. Him not keep basketball a secret. Him not keep it in one place.
Coach Lodge is always willing to help. He's always there. Any camp I go on, Coach ready. Any camp at all.
And I must say this publicly. When we just started the interview team, we said that we are going to have the all-star. And we turn to a lot of persons and we get a lot of iffy and the this and that. When we turn to Coach Lodge, Coach Lodge said it wasn't even a question. Just very forward, and we had that all-star competition with the college intercal league at Calabar.
That was a good one at Calabar.
And about 15 years before that, them have one, and up to now, them still not have no more after that. And we have to go put on one more. Because, even though it was financed directly from us, we know that Coach Lodge assists us a great way to ensure that financially we didn't feel the pressure. And we must say thanks publicly to Coach Lodge.
Big up yourself, Coach. Real boss this month. What about question from JKM, Coach? I don't know if you want to answer that. Him say the best 5 players you have ever coached.
Whoa. No.
Yeah.
Whoa. You see Noel Wright. I don't know if anybody know Noel Wright. Noel Wright is
You
one
must
of the
know
best
Noel as the general, that man.
all-round players I have ever coached. For someone who is under 6 feet,
Killer.
shoot the ball, dribble pass you, everything. Noel Wright. Boy, there's so many players. Kemal McLeish, as I told him already, that will always be one of my favorite players. My goodness. Kelly, this is tough because Andre Grant, Vinsanity.
Killer.
Oh yeah, man, Vinsanity. That young man, I told that young man, say him have to dunk everything that come over him have to dunk everything.
Well,
if you want to talk about Vince Carter, you have to dunk everything.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna jump over people's head from back then.
Yeah, him make sure embrace that. So I have to give him a lot of credit. Man, miss out a whole players. It's unfair to do that though. Because whole heap of them. Malik McCarthy.
JT.
Fall down. Obina White. No, man, you can't do me that.
Too much, you can't do it. Yeah, man. That mean I said. That's why that was a hot seat. Yeah. But another one still. Somebody asked about your Brave days, but them I guess I was somewhere. Owen
Hall?
Yeah, man, Owen Hall, man.
You love Owen Hall. Yeah, man. Braves was family. Still family. It'll always be family. It was where Smiley taught us how to support each other because we had a female club, we had a Division 1 club, and we had a senior club, Division 2 club. And you had to be at all the games. The girls them playing, you had better be there supporting them. Division 2 playing, you better be there. And vice versa. So it was help me with structure and understanding family and how you get teamwork out of basketball. Owen Hall, definitely one of the best shooters out of that group of players. Good to see you online, sir. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah, man, definitely.
Owen is always here, man. I'm always coming and everything. Is it?
Okay. All right. Before you go, Lods, can you? I'm asking if you could give even some encouraging words to the viewers in regards to basketball. What's the first thing you would love to see we approach coming out of this COVID pandemic?
Oh, well, for us to get back to the business of basketball, as the business of basketball needs to be taken care of. Have the structure fixed, follow the process, have all our people certified. And we're talking about referees and coaches. Get the level up, get our players playing a lot more. I plan to put a lot of effort into organizing leagues and weekend leagues and stuff like that now to get players playing, because every 2 weeks we can have a weekend league and we can have a clinic before and then the games after. And I don't want coaches come with them teams either. I want them come with them players and we'll just pick them and put them on teams and challenge each other that day, and the winner for that day, and next 2 weeks we do the same thing. So we'll continue to build the basketball. And it is right now, my goal is really about those who are ready to make the leap overseas. First time here on the interview, I think I should say the Caribbean Basketball Academy will be launched soon, I guess after COVID. But this is where all the talent can now work and get themselves ready and then be placed in schools overseas. And
That
but
sound
your
like some
commitment,
big news.
yeah, but with your commitment, you not only join the academy, but your commitment now is to come back and play for Jamaica. Make yourself available. So you have to sign a contract to make yourself available to play for the country, so that we can now talk about that future plan that I have about playing in the Olympics. Not just this one, not just the one after that, but consistently being one of the teams in the Olympics, competing and doing well.
I say here, we really hope that the person who need to hear, or the persons, is listening. And I must say, a man, when
Gary,
you talk about
before you end, Gary,
yes,
I'm reach out back to my minister again, because this is where she comes in, because
yes.
you know, sometimes for our players to get like visas and so, a word from the minister goes a long way, right? So we're not necessarily asking her for money, like a word from her, a letter from her will go a long way, because some of these hurdles and these red tapes need to be moved out of the way, so the players can move and be put in good situations. We have people like Garfield Richards, Steve Gordon, Andre Ricketts, some people that I know over there that I can trust to also watch and monitor some of these players and help them when they leave here, because they need that assistance and support. Right? We don't want when them go over there, them can't come back, they can't call back them coach, because people keeping them to themselves and the politics. They're Jamaican players, they're Jamaican talent. So they're going to be available to play for Jamaica coming through the Caribbean Basketball Academy. And this is the kind of thing that I talk about, support from the admin, money to support projects like these, because this is what is going to send our talent and then bring it back here to develop the sport. Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, man, no problem, man. No, man. Well, Lord,
Yes.
I think you're saying, because, as I said before, persons don't know how to market themselves, and definitely you're marketing, and we need to follow. As I said before, Lord's not a man that shy away from the topic and him just speak in mind. And we love that, because it's not a thing as a bitter speech, but it's a speech to show. So listen, let's do better. Hold yourself accountable. Hold accountable for your action, and that's the only way we move forward. So again, it's wonderful having you on the program, Lods. We know the team is smiling because we got the opportunity to sit and discuss basketball with someone who have been a part of basketball from a good while now. Yeah, for the match with them jump shot them from way out and all that. And so bless up Calabar Lionheart. Yeah, man, the real Lions. As you know, UTech, the whole family. So let's just keep the work, keep going. All right, definitely. Before we go, viewers, our next interview is when, Willie? I think it's Friday.
Friday.
Yes, it's Friday, and the post will be out as quick as tomorrow morning. As you know, you might not know. So let me tell you. On Friday now, we have one of those legends, one of those persons that if you know about basketball, you have to know about this person. You can't be like Willie. We say him no know OB. Me don't know why I'm the pan setting up. I kick him off, but yeah.
Me know ganja though.
But so on Friday we sit down with Kevin Pinnock, aka Ganja, to talk about the governing of the sport. As you know, he's expert. So that will be a wonderful interview. Abdul tune in. All of the tune in.
All of the ref them tune in. You know why? Ruan always say, yo. A ganja teach me. A ganja teach me. Remember?
Yeah. Respect you, man. When you talk about Kevin, Willie, I remember telling this. When you talk about Kevin Pinnock, professional, know the sport, I know him carry himself day to day. Yo, big interview. Respect
yourself. He was a part of the president. He was the president of the Referees Association when I was a part of it.
See there? So enough said. Enough said. So fine, tune in. And remember, guys, persons who are watching and can't comment, like, subscribe. Don't just view. Touch the bell. Yeah, man. Tell someone name. Even a family member, just tell them to just like and subscribe. All right? Because guess what? We need to push the sport, and this is the avenue we're traveling.
Definitely.
To ensure that basketball reach where it's supposed to go. Big up Rick Turner.
Best squad in the world.
Up and running. Big up Rick Turner. As what they said, Jamaica basketball project. We're still looking for Olympics, and we want the president to push behind it. So support that program regardless. And as soon as them bring out the next initiative, let us all unite and see how best you can assist and help. Interview squad is always here for basketball. So anything you know do, trust me. Willie approachable, Gary approachable.
I'm not.
All of our members are approachable.
Yes.
Just WhatsApp, call us, and we will assist the best we can. You don't know. Interview squad, Wednesday evening, up and running. Friday. Go for it, big up yourself, yeah, man. Friday, I'm going to tune in. Go for it, KJ. Big up yourself. Godfrey, big up yourself. The world works. Friday, interview squad in the building.
We're on.
And we are.